Hey guys! To celebrate reaching another milestone here on Let's Paint, I decided it would be fun to do another ranking video, ranking all of the paintings that I did in year 7 of Let's Paint. So that's what we're gonna do. I went through all 20 of my paintings that I did in year 7 of Let's Paint, and we're going to rank them all from my least favorite to my most favorite. So, with that being said, here we go. Starting in at number 20. Sky Garden. I don't hate it, but I will admit there are some really awkward things about this one. Like this vine going up. It kind of there are some moments in this painting where it just, especially with the vines, like this vine right here is really the only perfect one. The rest of them turned out a little bit awkward, but yeah, I do love it. It ended up being my least favorite from this past year. At number 19, we have Hallowdell. It's just, this one's more simple. I expected this one to be like really highly detailed and like lots of stuff going on. And it turned out really simple. Like, I really only have a tree, a balloon present in a house, and a pumpkin next to the house. So it's more on the simple side, and that's why it ends up a little bit lower. I do love how the sky turned out, though. I think the sky turned out great. But yeah, it's more on the simple side, so I had to put it kind of low on the list. At number 18 is Crystal Clouds. Yet another one. It kind of got a little bit messy right here because I tried to do a little bit of a tapping effect with it. Didn't like how it looked, tried to scrape the paint off, so it ended up a little bit of a textury mess in this area. But I like how this cloud turned out. I like the little peekaboo area right here. I do like how the crystals turned out. I think the red one could have been a little bit better. Yeah, not my favorite one I did this past year, but not my least favorite. So, you know, number 18. At number 17, we have Starcatchers. I actually really love this one. The reason it is so low on the list is because this one actually only took me 1 day to complete. Like most of the paintings that you see in here took me 2 weeks to a month to complete. This one took me 1 day. So yeah, I had to take that into consideration. And that is why it's number 17 on the list and pretty far down, but still a great one. I still love this one. At number 16, we have Through the Window. It's another one of the more simple paintings. I do love the concept. I think the concept of this one is really great, but it's more simple, and I think the tree trunk right here turned out a little bit awkward. I like the rest of it. I do think the ground plane turned out a little bit too flat, but yeah, not my favorite. It's more on the simple side, which is why it's so low on the list, but I do still love it. At number 15, we have the Everything Tree. It's another simple one, which is why it's a little bit lower on the list, but I do love the concept. I love how the grass and the tree and all the fruits turned out, and the balloon present as well. But yeah, it's more simple, so it ends up number 15, a little bit lower on the list, but not all the way down, because I do love it. And at number 14, we have Sunburst. This one I do love. I think this part right here turned out a little bit wonky. I do like how the sky and the sunburst turned out. I like how the train tracks look and how the rocks look. It's really just this area right here that kind of throws it off for me and makes it not my favorite of the group. And at number 13, we have Fragments. Yet again, another simple one. I do love how this pour turned out. I especially love this area right here. I do think the character could have been better, especially down here with the shirt and the tie area. Turned out a little bit weird, but yeah, I think this one turned out nice. It's just not my favorite. And at number 12, we have Treasure Trove. This is the one that just, it turned out wonky in a few places, like right here. The boat just turned out a little weird. I do like how the ropes with the musical notes turned out, and how the post right here and the rocks and the water and all that turned out, but the boat turned out a little bit weird, but I do love it, so, you know. At number 11, we have Beginnings. This is another one that I really feel like if it weren't for this area right here, it would have ranked higher. It would have, but that little area right there kind of throws it off a little bit. For those who don't remember the actual video, I had originally tried to put like little dots of color right here in this spot to kind of visually represent flowers, but I ended up not liking that and it ended up looking really weird, so I scrapped that idea. But you can still see the texture here and it bothers me and I'm not happy with that. I do love how the painting turned out, but it's this area right here that just bumps it down the list for me. Alright, we're getting into our top 10. At number 10 we have Teamwork. I really do love how the sky turned out. The sky is most obviously my favorite part of this painting. I love how that turned out. I do think the stage right here, especially the rails or this part right here turned out a little bit wonky. But otherwise I'm happy with it. I love the sky. I love the sky. So yeah, there you go, number 10. And at number 9 we have Poor Planet. This one, the galaxy, turned out a little bit not great. But I do love how the planets turned out. I think the R-Wing could have turned out a little bit better. The galaxy turned out kind of weird looking in a few spots. But yeah, I do love how the planets turned out. And at number 8, it is Geysers. This is another one of my all-time favorites. I really love this one, but compared to the rest of them, you know, but I do love how this one turned out. I love everything about this. I love the flowers and the greenery down here. I love how the geysers turned out and the water and the rocks. Everything about this is really cool, but yeah, compared to the rest of them, it's not my absolute favorite, but it is one of my all-time favorites that I did this past year. And at number 7, we have Island Life. This one turned out really cool. I love how the water turned out. The trees could have turned out a little bit better, so that's why it's not at the top of the list, but I do really love sunset silhouette, or not really silhouette paintings, but sunset paintings in general. I really love those. But yeah, the trees turned out a little bit wonky, but that's about it for me with the negatives. It's just really the trees. The trees is what bumps it down, but yeah, I love it otherwise. At number 6, we have Autumn Mountain. I really do love this one. I think it all turned out really nice. I love how the leaves turned out. I love the ground plane and the cliffs. Everything about this is great, but not my absolute favorite. We'll get to that in a minute. Alright, we made it to the top 5. At number 5, it is Blazing Hot. I think this one turned out really cool. I think the rocks down here turned out a little bit weird. The lava could have been a little bit more defined, I guess. But I love how the volcanoes turned out, and I love the lava and the sky. The sky is the best part of, again. I just love skies. I like how skies look in paintings. It's really cool. So yeah, not my favorite, but this one is definitely up there for me. And at number 4, it is Spinning Star. I think this one turned out really nice. I love the trees and the stars. I think everything about this painting is really cool, and yeah, I do wish I had a little bit more room to like put like a ground plane or something here, but I think this one turned out really cool. Maybe even the stars could have had a little bit more detail, but yeah, I think this is a really nice one for sure. Alright, we're getting down to the wire here. At number 3, it is Meteors. I think this one turned out really cool. This little area right here with the green kind of turned out a little bit too bright, which is why I put a meteor there, because I thought that part was a little too distracting. But yeah, I love the purple side. I love how the big meteor in front. I like it all. It's just, yeah, there are a few things in here that kind of bump it down, but still one of my favorites. At number 2, it is 20 Shines. This is the painting that I did to celebrate Mario Sunshine being out for 20 years. And yeah, I think this one turned out really cool. I think the sky turned out really nice. I like how the tree turned out, the grass, the mushrooms, the Peter Park in the background. I think this cliff here could have turned out a little bit, and I could have put more detail into that. But otherwise, this is one of my favorites for sure. I love it. And finally, at number 1, it ended the year, and now it is officially the number 1 painting, in my opinion. That's right, it is Cliffside Zoo. I think everything about this one is great. I love the mountains, even though they're in kind of silhouette. I love those. I love the ice mountains in front of that, and the grass and the water, and the bridge and this grass, and everything about this one is just really great. I was debating whether or not to put 20 Shines or this one at number 1, and really this one is just, there's nothing about this one that I don't like. I think every part of this painting is great. So yeah, I had to put that one at number 1. So there you go. This is the number 1 painting of year 7. And with that, that is all the rankings for every single painting that I did in year 7. Alright, so the next painting that I do will start off year 8. It feels crazy that we're already on year 8, but I have a ton of ideas already for paintings that I can do in year 8, so I am very excited for this. So I hope you guys are excited too. Alright, so that is it for today, and until next time, keep being creative.